Coach, it's been, I guess, about a week since you last played, so was it a good time to kind of have a few days to kind of collect themselves? How would you kind of handle this week getting ready for another game?
Well, it's all about preparation this time of year and preserving our guys' bodies. So we wanted to get in, be intense and work hard and kind of concentrate on the things we thought we needed to do to get better.
You had more time to review the film. What did you take away from that Tulane loss?
We have to do a few things better. We have to defend without fouling. I thought we sent them to the line too many times. And we have to take care of the basketball. I thought we had too many turnovers in that game. It's tough to win on the road if you turn the ball over and you sending the other team to the free throw line. That makes it difficult.
You talk about preparation being a big deal, of course, going into the next game. But USF being what it is, the big rivalry, is it a little easier to get the group guys ready to get prepared this week?
Oh, no, absolutely. It's a rival game. The war on I-4, and so our guys, understand, what that means. Even though we have so many new players that never was in the rivalry before, but they've been in rivalry games, wherever they're from. So they understand the magnitude of games like this, and both teams would be up. You got to throw the records out the window, and you have to compete.
You're talking about the rivalry, the war on I-4. Obviously, both teams are currently in the American, and you guys go to the Big 12 next year. What is the status of this series going forward in future years?
We don't know as of yet. We have to wait and see. Right now, we're just concentrating on what's going on in the present for us. But in the future, we'll reevaluate what we do and see what's best for our program.
So is that so they're not, right now you don't think they'd be on the schedule as a non-conference game next year?
Right now I do not know. Right now we're still rounding our schedule out, so I don't want to be premature because we haven't completed our schedule to see what we're doing.
Is it something you'd like to see happen?
Absolutely, I enjoy it. I think it's a great rivalry. I think it's good for our state. I love playing our in-state schools, and so I think it's good for all of us. We have a huge state, a lot of terrific teams, and I think it's good for everyone to do that.
Speaking of in-state, have you noticed what FAU has been doing? I know you got a player on your team who's the son of the coach at FAU. Have you kind of noticed the great season they're having?
Exactly. I'm excited. Charlie's on our, our team. That's Dusty's son, and so we've enjoyed having him here, and I'm sure he's as proud as we are that they're playing well and they're having a terrific season.
What do you need to see from your team tomorrow against USF? What do you need to see from your team?
We need to play with composure down there on the road. I always say you got to be composed and play with poise on the road. We need to make sure we execute, on both sides of the basketball. Defensively, what our game plan is, and offensively, we need to make sure we execute what we're trying to accomplish. I think if you do those things, you give yourself a chance to compete.
Do you think you'll have Darius Johnson?
Darius is still day to day. As of right now, he's still recovering, so we'll wait to see. But he's day to day.
One thing I thought was interesting, I listened to on the radio the other night. You mentioned about Ty Freeman, how he probably could have been in line to be a starter at the beginning of the year. Had some concussion issues. Just kind of tell me about what you've liked about him. He's really contributed lately when you really needed a player to step up.
Well, I'm really proud of Ty because he was playing terrific in the summer and in the fall, and he had a setback. It happens in our game, and just the timing was so bad. He missed a complete month basically, and the season had already started up, and guys that fell into roles, and we're playing well. And as you know, when that happens, you have to kind of go with what you have out there. And so he found himself out of the rotation. But to his credit, kept a great attitude, kept working hard, and we would always say, be ready for your opportunity. And then when his opportunity presented itself, he stepped up right into that role and played really well for us. And that's what you want to see from a player. He didn't put his head down. He didn't sulk because he wasn't playing. He stayed positive. He was a great teammate in the locker room and on the court. And his energy was infectious. And then when he got his opportunity, he performed.
You say that. Is that something that you don't always see? I mean, I don't want to admit it at the time, but guys, they sulk and maybe they're down in the dumps, they're not playing. But that's something you truly believe that he was not like that at all. Him and PJ.
No, absolutely. And that's what makes those guys just very high character guys. The fact that they can be in adverse situations or in situations where they maybe not be playing or in a rotation, and they handle it, in a great way. They stay positive. They understand it's a team game, and whether you're playing 30 minutes a night or you're not playing at all, you're all part of the same team, and you can still give to your team, whether it's minutes or with your energy off the court, with what you say off the court, with your leadership. And both of those guys exhibited that through the time where they weren't getting any games.
Michael Durr's out, and I know he was at Indiana before, but he played for USF previously. Is that something you guys talk about? You handle it? How you handle it with Brandon Suggs?
Not a lot, it's one of those things. We know he played there, and so of course there's familiarity there, but we don't like to go into too much about what a former player did when he was at another institution. What we want to do is just really concentrate on what we can do to compete against FSU at their home court, and of course he's familiar with them, but they're a new team also. They have a lot of new players, and so things have changed with their personnel just like ours has.
We're seeing it a lot this year when we talk about, AAC to AAC transfers. We're talking about Kendrick Day. Now we talk about Tyler Harris. He's their best player, and you're familiar with him when he was in Memphis. Tell us about Tyler and what kind of, how much of a challenge is he going to be on tomorrow?
Very good basketball player, really good guard. He's had a lot of success in our conference. And he's just a threat all the time. He has unlimited range. He can shoot the basketball, but he also can get to the basket and make plays for himself and others. Terrific player, and he's having a really good year, as you mentioned. He's leading that team, and someone that we have to make sure we're focused on and pay a lot of attention to.
Obviously, you always want to come away with the game, with a W there too. But going into USF, you've got a team that's struggling compared to say Tulane or something like that. Does that put more pressure on you guys going into it from your perspective?
Well, we look at it as one game. We're not really, more pressure or less pressure. We're all about just trying to win the next game that's in front of us, and it's USF right now, and they're a very good basketball team. They have a lot of talent. I don't think their record, really describes, how good they can be. It's just a process of trying to develop your players, trying to get some chemistry and continuities with a lot of new pieces, and that's difficult. And we've been fortunate, and I'm sure they're going through some of the same things in developing their team. And so we know they're good, we know they're talented, and we have to make sure we prepare that way.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.